The Chaser Report is recorded on Gadigal land.
Striving for mediocrity in a world of excellence. This is the Chaser Report.
Hello and welcome to the Chaser Report with Dom and Charles, a momentous episode where we celebrate the 6 millionth download of the Chaser Report.
Podcasting history. Well, it was made a couple of weeks ago. We're a bit slow with our admin. But really, who would have thought when we started this podcast in the heady days of 2020 in lockdown, who would have thought that as of today we would be at 6,100,000 listeners? It's taken us a while.
Yes,
to
that's
get
right.
there.
And coming up, we're going to cross live to Edward Bassanelli, who is the 6 millionth downloader.
Congratulations, Edward. I'm going to leave the room during that, not because I had another work commitment during the time when it had to be recorded earlier by Charles. It's definitely live.
No,
I'm
it's
just going
live.
to leave.
It's live.
I'm just going to leave the
Yeah.
room because I'm too in awe of his brilliance. I think Charles has to handle that well.
Yeah.
Well done, Charles.
That's right. And look, while we're talking about podcast statistics, I think we should comment on the fact that by far our most downloaded episode ever, if you look up the statistics, is called The Joe Rogan Experience.
Yes, it is. Which makes
So-
me think we've given our podcast the wrong name. Hey, more about our own achievements. It's going to be one of those episodes. Sorry. In just a sec. So there you go. 6,119,406 downloads of the Chaser Report in its history at this point. That's crazy. What's wrong with you people?
And the thing is, I think it's infecting popular culture, really.
Do you?
Yes, I think, people, you bump into people and they've got talking points and you go, wait, hang on, I said that.
Yeah.
I said, isn't Elon Musk a fuckwit? And you go, you got that opinion from the Chaser Report, didn't you?
No, that's definitely from the Chaser Report. That one.
Yeah.
No, you?
Isn't Trump a moron?
Shouldn't Trump be in jail?
Yeah.
We said that.
Yeah, talking point, yeah.
Isn't Anthony Albanese a little slightly underwhelming?
Isn't Linda Reynolds a litigious asshole?
You said that. I didn't say that. That was you. Yeah, I'm just looking at all the episodes we've ever done here. Yeah, the Joe Rogan Experience with Ben Shapiro. That's definitely the most popular. The second one is the Corona-Free podcast, 17th of April 2020. Was that our first ever episode? I think we haven't much topped it.
Yeah, I think it's been all downhill.
Why haven't we done another Joe Rogan episode?
No, my guess, because the Joe Rogan, I think, was our first episode, wasn't it? And I think the thing is that when you subscribe to our podcast, it downloads from the beginning.
Oh, no. That was 2022, the Joe Rogan one.
Oh, okay.
It was when he was in the news
Yeah.
with all that controversy to do.
And then
with-
we changed our name to the Joe Rogan
We did. We
Experience.
changed the podcast's name, which is also a good way to get listeners.
Yes, exactly. So I think probably at least half of the 6 million downloads is attributable to people mistakenly downloading this, thinking that it was the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, and frankly,
And the other half
being shocked by the relative degree of facts in our podcast. It's not a great source of facts, this podcast, but compared to Joe Rogan,
Oh, yeah.
we're journalistic integrity.
I think the other half is actually defamation lawyers downloading it to,
That'll be it.
drum up some business.
Yeah, the election was, looking back at the numbers, the election was good for our numbers. Oh, we definitely need another one of those things. There's been talk of Albo going to an early election.
Yes, bring it on.
Bring it on, Albo. Bring on a couple.
Yes.
I think we could do a couple in a year. Like total instability, a couple of months every a new election. We'd do very well out of that.
I definitely think we should take this podcast on the road and go to the US during the US election.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think we, on the strength of these numbers,
Yes.
we could lose a lot of money doing that. I think that'd be fun, though.
Yeah, I think so.
For election night. We could do a live election night. Or we could just do it in Australia and say we were in America, I suppose.
And then the other cool thing is on this Monday morning is that we're coming from a studio which actually looks half decent.
Yes, Charles has hung a curtain. This is the kind of excitement we have here at Chaser Report headquarters. Charles has somehow got the
Drill out.
the skills to hang a curtain. I don't at all. I'm very impressed by this display of manliness by Charles.
Yes, and so we will start videoing our podcast probably this week.
Quite possibly.
And you'll start seeing clips turn up in your social media and you can share them with your friends and then we'll become like the vibe. We'll become like the zeitgeist.
Do you think that's the thing standing between us and success is footage of us? You think that's going to grow the audience too? Okay, interesting.
The other thing that we're going to do this week is I went to a new barber yesterday who lives just across the street from our studio.
I've been to that one.
Yeah, Huss is his name. He's
he's good.
He's from Lebanon, but all his he goes to Iraq quite often. Anyway, point is, he claimed that he could be funnier than us.
Why don't you bring him on the podcast?
Yeah, so we're going to bring him on the podcast. But the good news is that he gave me a beard trim and then he tried to sell me a $300 solution to baldness.
Wow.
That he's from Iraq and he claims it's all natural materials, but he was trying to show me photos of before and after of it working. He couldn't find any of those photos, but
That's always encouraging.
I think we should run a bit of a sort of crowdsourcing,
Do you?
crowdfunding GoFundMe. You know how people do it for, when they've got cancer in the US or
yes,
something like that?
Charlie Teo raises money to operate on people who arguably shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think the same thing should apply to our male pattern baldness, and we do a bit of a crowdfunding campaign to make you and me unbald.
I mean, you might be salvageable, but in my case, there's absolutely no chance.
No, he reckons it grows your hair back from nothing.
Okay, I went once, and it was one of the most simultaneously awesome and harrowing things I've ever done. It was for an article. I went to Advanced Hair to find out what they do. It's very funny.
Don't they just get your hair and then glue it on?
So there's two levels. There's a level where they use kind of like lasers or some shit, and basically Rogaine. So Rogaine works. That's stuff
right, yeah.
that you can get from the pharmacy. If you've only got a little bit of hair loss, it actually works. You just got to use it twice a day.
Yeah.
I used it for a week and went, nah, fuck that. I'm just going to let myself, my looks are never going to be my strong suit, whatever. But so Rogaine works, right?
Yeah.
But then so they charge you a lot of money basically for fairly simple treatment. But in my case, they already said, no, you're too far gone for that.
Right.
We'll do the strand by strand. That's what the cricketers get, right?
Yeah.
And what that is, it's extraordinary. Think of the most lo-fi way of replacing hair you could possibly think of. Can you think of how they do it? It's really lo-fi.
Well, I presume, did they shave it off your arm or something and then
You couldn't put arm
and then
hair
get
in.
super glue and put it on your head?
There is glue. What it is, and this is what they told me, there's a plastic membrane that they put on your head.
So it's a Glad wrap.
It's basically a shower cap, a sort of tight shower cap, and it's got lots of little holes in it. And they match the natural colour of your hair with the hair of somebody in Eastern Europe. It's a hair farm.
Oh,
and they
wow.
ship over their hair in the right
Yes.
colour, and then they tuft it in strand by. That's why it's called strand by strand. So it's basically like what they do with stadiums, where they grow the turf off site and bring it in.
Are they free range hair growers or are they just caged? These
I think
hair
they're caged,
growers?
yeah,
Right,
because it's a control cost.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. So if you see someone with advanced hair, they actually have a piece of plastic stuck to their hair, and you've got to go back every 4 weeks.
What?
To get more tufts. Yes, it's incredibly expensive. And when you when you go there, they show you a video where lots of sports stars, and back in those days it was Shane Warne when he was still alive.
Yes.
I'm sure his hair is still
going,
technically
yeah.
alive somewhere. And basically all the sports stars have like hot girls with them, and it's going, you're never going to get hot girls unless you get the strand by strand. I had an advantage because I knew that even with a full head of hair, I didn't get the
would get
girls. So,
girls.
I didn't fall for that.
yeah.
But I can see what people did.
Yeah,
So that's what it is.
And
So
so
if-
what happened? I'd love to track down Shane Warne's hair grower.
Imagine when that news came through.
Yes.
The one
Do they
blonde
had to
bloke
get
in
rid of that like
Slovenia or something.
Did they sort of put them out to pasture or something?
Oh, I think
the
that's it.
hair
I
grower?
think when you're you don't, isn't that the tradition? You've got to die alongside you.
Yeah.
You've got to be thrown on the funeral pyre alongside.
Yeah.
Well, Charles, give it a go. I mean, $300. What have you got to lose besides $300 fucking dollars?
Well, I know it's a scam. Like, it's got to be a scam, right?
Yeah, no, it's entirely possible that in the multi-billion-dollar baldness replacement industry, they haven't yet looked at this random thing from Iraq.
Yeah, okay.
It's possible.
Yeah, okay.
It's high. I mean,
We'll get him on later this week, and we'll like have a scientific probe into it.
the other day we were talking about room temperature semiconductors, right? It was very exciting.
Oh, isn't that
There's
amazing?
another one.
Yes.
There's a South Korean one that's just come through in the past couple of days.
Yes.
I reckon we should ask this bloke whether he's got from Iraq a room temperature superconductor, because that would be the same degree of improbability, I think,
Right,
as a
okay.
natural Iraqi remedy regrowing your hair. But look, maybe it has sort of natural Rogaine or something. I don't know.
Well, he claims it worked on himself, but he said it worked on his beard because when you meet him, you go, "Oh, you've got quite a healthy beard."
Luxuriant, if I
And he
recall.
said, "I never used to be able to grow a beard. I used this, and now I can grow a beard." And it was like, "Yes, but you're about 14 years old.
Hmm.
Like you probably couldn't grow a beard because you hadn't gone through puberty yet.
I mean, I have endless hair on every inch of my body except my head. I'm a walking study in irony. I don't think I want to disturb that. I'm a cautionary tale, essentially,
Yes.
of excess testosterone and the tragedy of it.
Yes, isn't it? Yes,
Yeah, it's literally my
You're
problem.
just too much of a man.
Well, not in other respects, but in that one, yes, I have overactive testosterone. That's enough about me, Charles.
Yes.
Let's meet our 6 millionth listener, shall we? Scientifically proven through the rigorous process of who wrote the most interesting email claiming to be the 6 millionth downloader.
Yes, and we've sent him $6 million. Oh, by the way, before we do that, we did send him the check. I don't think the check is. We'll ask him whether the check's arrived. But
He's not
you know
going to try
how
and cash it, is he? Surely he understands.
Because the plan was to send him a check for $6 million that was
Yes.
one day after checks got expired.
Yeah, checks expired.
The problem is, and I do actually have to thank a listener for coming up with a solution to this problem, is when I looked into it, turns out checks won't expire until 2030.
Oh.
So I thought it was a bit scummy putting like 2031 as the date on a check. Like that's a little bit
That's a bit scummy.
bit tricky, right? But this listener emailed me last week going, look, if you're worried about putting the date on the check, checks in Australia expire after 15 months.
Oh, that's good.
So what I did is I sent him a check that was predated 15 months and 1 day.
Did you check that fact before you sent it out?
I did actually. I checked it. But so I've sent him a novelty oversized check for $6 million.
Wow.
And an avocado pool toy.
Which is worth even less than the bounce check.
Joining us live as the 6 millionth listener from wherever he is in the country, Edward Bassanelli. Congratulations, Edward.
Thank you very much.
It must be a bit of an honour being the 6 millionth downloader. Can you run us through your process for being the 6 millionth? Like, how did you manage to be the exact 6 millionth one?
Well, it all just comes down to listening to the podcast, listening to it so many times on so many different mediums, and just loving it and embracing the chaser.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, because when you emailed me, you said the reason why you in particular was the 6 millionth is because you downloaded on both your phones and your computer, and so you downloaded about 3 or 4 times every episode?
Correct, yeah, both the deluxe version and the regular.
That does suggest that, in fact, we don't have 6 million downloads. It's more like a quarter of that if everyone's a bit like you and downloading on multiple devices. You can reassure us and, more importantly, our advertisers that you listen to every single download that you download. So you download it 4 times. You listen to each episode 4 times, right?
Exactly. I do. Everyone does.
Yeah. Oh, great. Okay. Yeah. Well, then, that's great. Look, what are you planning to do, first of all, with the $6 million? Have you received the check yet? Did you get the check?
I haven't got it yet. I'm hoping I get it today or Monday.
Yeah. Well, the check is in the mail, I promise.
That's awesome. Yeah. I might, I don't know. Should I give it to charity?
No! God, no. We didn't give you $6 million for it to be wasted on poor people or the environment or something.
Well, I'm a teacher. I don't have that much money myself, so
yeah, okay.
I am the charity.
So maybe more, more devices to punish students or something like that? Is that?
Yep, that's exactly how we manage their behaviour.
Yeah, right.
All the devices.
Where do you live? Where are you? Are you...
I'm in the ACT.
Oh, you're in the ACT. Oh, I'm so sorry. Did you train much for this feat? Like, when you heard that there was going to be the 6 millionth listener, did you go into training, downloading, things more often?
I doubled what I was listening to. I was listening to them all once or twice, and then I started listening to them 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, that's great. That's really good. And do you have any tips or tricks for the next time? Because we're about to hit 7 million downloads fairly soon. Mm-hmm. Certainly by the end of the year. We'll probably give away $7 million then. Do you have any tips or tricks for other listeners who want to get in and be as good as you?
Maybe get a few more devices, get an iPad, get a phone, computer, another computer, your work computer, download and listen to everything so many times. It's a great podcast.
Yeah. And in particular, the best part about the show is the ads. Do you have any favourites?
Well, that's why I'm on the deluxe package, so I get all the ads.
Do you still get the ad? Like, do the ads still come through on your deluxe? Because we keep on having complaints from people saying, I'm still getting the ads. I'm paying and I'm still getting the ads.
They used to at the beginning, especially when you said there were more sponsorships or something than actual ads. But no, there's no ads these days.
Anyway, Edward, congratulations. Have you received the avocado pool toy yet?
No, I'm hoping that comes with the check.
You can give it to one of your students as punishment.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay, well, Edward, well done. Congratulations, and keep listening 6 or 7 times each day to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Edward Bassanelli, the 6 millionth download, a very scientifically adjudged competition. We'll be back in a sec.
The Chaser Report. Less news, more often.
What an honour.
Yeah.
Well, let's give us a few months to think about what to do for the 7 minutes listener. If you have an idea, podcast@chaser.com.au, you can send us through your thoughts. And also, if you just want to write us some sort of essay of congratulations at making this extraordinary milestone, which I must say I didn't think we'd still be bothering with this at this point.
Well, what's amazed me is how many people actually listen to the podcast. Like,
They do.
And like every day, if I say something wrong, people will email me to correct me.
You know what that means?
What?
We're stealing listeners from the ABC. We've got the pedants. That's fantastic. Well, we had someone the other day email in taking issue with my episode about Tokyo, where I raved about how awesome Tokyo was, saying that Kobe was better and referring to, he said he'd be very freaked out if there was a reference to Kobe beef in the in the podcast. So there you go.
Oh, and the other complaint.
Yes, this is a good complaint.
Which is a great complaint. Apparently, our podcast, if you don't subscribe to the ad-free version, which you can do at Apple or at
$4 a month. It's not much.
Acast.
It's a pity payment.
You get served ads, and if you're outside Australia, apparently the only ad that dares to advertise on our podcast is Aramco, which
They
is
sound good. Who's Aramco?
that's the Saudi fossil fuel oil company.
Oh, what a perfect alignment.
I know, it's very, very on brand.
We're the one organisation with a worse reputation than Aramco. Welcome aboard, Aramco. Good to have you with us.
So, but the point is, Aramco, of course, backed by the Saudi regime. Saudi regime, of course, have a bit of a habit of cutting up journalists with bone saws.
It's a bit of a bone saw point, isn't it?
So, I'm just thinking, like, do we criticise them, Dom? Which would have integrity, right?
I mean, we could, but let's not forget, Charles, that the bone saw dismembering occurred in another country at their embassy. So, I mean, if we bother them enough, you'll probably just be bundled into the back of a car and taken to the Saudi embassy.
Well, this is why I say maybe we should just talk about how great the Saudis are.
I mean,
and Aramco is a very proud and wonderful sponsor. And when I'm wanting to pump carbon into the atmosphere, I always choose Aramco fuels.
Absolutely,
yes.
If I want carbon emissions, I emit Aramco, the superior quality carbon emission. Fuck the planet the quality way.
Yes,
that's what
exactly.
I say.
Much better than this Australian coal shit.
They've got the second largest crude oil reserves, but to me they're not crude, it's sophisticated.
Yeah, that's
sophisticated oil.
Yeah, okay. But should we put them, I think we can put them on a block list, can't we? And
we could.
Stop taking their filthy lucre.
We could do that, but then we'd earn less money. So if you want us to block the most obvious company to block in the world, please subscribe because, we do need money from somewhere.
Yeah, because the thing is, because we already block the biggest single category for podcasting in Australia is apparently sports betting.
Yeah.
But when we first signed up, we've never taken gambling ads, even when we were on commercial radio.
Oh, that was stupid of us, wasn't it?
Yeah, and at one point, our agent actually said to us, I can get you like a 7-figure deal for podcasting. The thing is, it would be with a sports betting company.
I think it might have been one of the reasons why we lost our commercial radio show too.
Yeah, and I think it's also the reason why our agent gave up on us.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
But it was like, because that's where all the money is.
We should have bet on commercial radio not panning out for us, shouldn't we? We would have made a lot of money.
Well, what I think we should have done is taken all the sports betting money and then, given, say, half of it to, homeless charities and,
yes.
and therefore feel good about ourselves even though we're also causing the problem. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
sort of take, because isn't that the way modern philosophy, like modern
Philanthropy.
capitalism
Yeah,
works,
that's right.
is you do something terrible, but then sort of give back a little bit and wash away your sins.
I think 50% would have been a lot. I think maybe 10
yeah,
or
exactly.
5%
Five,
to charity.
3, 2.
One's a good
1%,
number.
yeah.
One's a good number.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go below 1%.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, that's Aramco. Thank you for the money.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised, but also in a sense it makes we certainly talk about Saudi issues more than most podcasts.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Look, it's been a rambly episode to celebrate 6 million listeners. And frankly, after an episode like this, it's astonishing that we've had 6 million listeners. Nevertheless, we'll get back to talking about the news tomorrow. Thank you
Yes.
for making it this far, you kind people.
The other thing that I just want to note is now that we've got the studio set up, what we want to start doing is introducing talkback radio to the podcast industry.
Oh, thank goodness.
So what we're going to do is we're going to find a time each week where we guarantee that we'll be available.
We'll be physically here and you can ring in.
And you can ring in, and the thing is I can't get – so we've got this Rodecaster Pro 2, but I can't get it working with the phone.
I know
But-
how to do that. That's all right.
Okay.
We'll get it.
We'll get it working, and then for an hour each week, we'll have like a talkback radio calls, and it'll be like, and even though it's not live, it'll then.
I mean, it'll be live when you call us. And
Yeah.
the great thing about that is we can't filter it. There's no producer to filter the calls, right? So we'll just have to take them.
Yeah, we'll just have to take whatever calls.
Whatever
we
calls
get.
there are.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's going to be
gonna be
silly.
loose.
Yeah, so I think we'll announce that on social media. So check out X or
God, I can't. Twitter. Please call it Twitter.
Facebook, Threads, Instagram, TikTok. We'll advertise around that it's happening.
Yep.
And we'll talk to you soon.
For reals.
Yeah, for real.
Our gear is from Rode. We're part of the Iconoclast Network. We'll catch you soon.
Bye.